Welcome to the company. It's very exciting to have you here. I'm Chris Cabrer. I'm the CEO and founder of Xactly. My hope for you is that you embrace yourself in the culture of the company. You learn about our core values that spell out care. You plug yourself into the culture that this company is.
Whoa, hold on, wait a minute. Let me show you.
This is so awkward.
Welcome to the Xactly family.
Welcome.
Welcome to Xactly.
Bienvenidos a Xactly. Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome to Xactly.
If you've just started at Xactly, the best thing you can do is walk around and get to know people.
Meet as many people as possible.
Working with, just some of the best and brightest out there is really inspiring, and you learn a lot just by doing that.
My strong advice to you is to plug into the culture, get involved, be part of it.
Another thing that I love about Xactly is the culture and the people that I work with.
At Xactly, we have a really friendly culture.
I find the culture to be incredibly empowering.
What really attracted me to Xactly was really the culture. Just overall, just a great atmosphere.
Yeah. 7% increase in sales.
But you know why Xactly is so great? It's because of you.
What inspires me to come into work every day are the people that I work with.
What I like most about Xactly are the people.
The thing that I like most about Xactly is the people and the energy that everybody brings to work every day.
So everyone from my coworkers to my manager and their directors are very supportive.
I got it. Okay.
I really hope you're ready for this journey. It's going to be an exciting ride.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And thanks so much, everyone, for being here. Just wanted to give you a brief overview as far as Xactly before I actually get started in that. As you mentioned, I'm Colton Lobdell. I'm one of the lead corporate recruiters here, and I've been here for coming up almost to 2 years now. So for those who don't know, Xactly is a 100% cloud-based SaaS provider. And we're really a leader within the revenue intelligence solutions space. So these tools are backed by now almost 16 years of data that we've been collecting, as well as AI. And the mission that we have is to provide enterprise sales organizations with the technology that they need to optimize their revenue pipeline and really up-level performance. So when it all started back in 2005, we were originally within what was called the ICM space, which is incentive comp. But over time and development and acquisitions, we really broadened and turned into full-scale end-to-end platforms for revenue intelligence. And just to give you an idea as far as some of these tools that consist of sales planning and resource planning, incentive compensation, like I mentioned, moving all the way to forecasting and territory management, attrition calculation tools. And all of these platforms and tools are really, really exciting. Like I said, a really leader in the space. And I think the main point of all of these and what they're aiming to accomplish is really to increase the efficiency and effectiveness within these sales teams. I think an exciting thing about all of our products and really how they can be utilized is from a broader scope. Any company nowadays that is just generating revenue from a sales standpoint, and they can use and implement our products, and those are people that we can work alongside with. So as far as logistical wise, we have locations in San Jose, which is where our headquarters is located out of. We have an office in Denver, which is where I'm at, but also scattered in Toronto, the UK, out in India, in Sydney. We also have field folks all throughout the US and Central America. And a lot of this past year has really been exciting for us. We've had a lot of growth and expansion and a lot of focus within our EMEA sector as well. Like I mentioned, we have a UK office, but we've done a lot of expansion within the French and German markets, and continuing to do so within that space. I think for this past year, and something that we've seen and something that I know that we'll have and continuing moving forward, is remote work. I know that this past year has been pretty hectic across the board, and something that we've seen is how capable and willing people are to work from home and how much can get accomplished from a remote setting. So, moving forward, and what we've been doing for the past year has really been looking at folks across all of these different regions and not being centralized to just in, those particular areas that I mentioned. So it's been a really exciting time for us. Excited to have you all here, and excited to give you more information about Xactly. So thanks so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren Roostoffer, and thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and have the chance to share my Xactly journey with you all. So I've been at Xactly for over 5 years and will hit my 6th year this August. Prior to working at Xactly, I actually graduated from San Francisco State with a hospitality degree. And with that degree, I actually moved abroad. I moved to China and Hong Kong for 3 years after college, and I worked in the hotel industry. Honestly, it was such an amazing experience. And if you do ever have the chance to move abroad for a couple of years, I highly recommend it. But I always knew that I'd end up back in the States. So when I moved back to the Bay Area in California, I knew I wanted to get out of the hospitality industry and the tech sector. It always sounded really intriguing, but I really wasn't quite sure which department or which role I'd fit into with my hospitality background. So I did quite a bit of searching. I don't think Way Up was an opportunity for me back in 2015, or if it was, I wasn't aware of it yet. But I just did some searching on LinkedIn and Indeed, and I found the receptionist role at Xactly in our San Jose office. My experience from hospitality really did help me succeed as the receptionist, since I had experience working with a ton of different people, working with customers, and I definitely adapted quickly to the fun and exciting culture that Xactly had to offer. So when I was in the receptionist role, I was able to learn how to manage vendor relationships, learn different systems, work with all levels of employees, since most of our executive staff worked in San Jose. I also was lucky enough to mentor our first employee from Best Buddies, Ryan Shu, who is actually photographed in that top photo on this slide. If you're not familiar with Best Buddies, they are a nonprofit organization aimed at helping individuals with developmental disabilities in finding work, living opportunities, and friendships as well. This was an amazing experience as I got to work with Ryan on a day-to-day basis. And after 5 years, I can say that we're still super close. We talk every week. He's still working at Xactly, and he's actually one of the people that I manage currently. But taking a step back to 2017, I started to become close with our HR department, and I learned more about human resources, and I thought it would be a great fit for the strengths that I had. I informed my manager at the time that I was interested in learning a bit more about HR, and I was able to transition into the human resources department as an HR coordinator. So this position really helped me learn the ins and outs of all the different functions within HR, which there's a ton. And I really started at ground zero. I knew not that much about human resources. So I started learning about onboarding, benefits, and I grew my knowledge within HR. So after about a year in that coordinator position, I was promoted to an HR representative as I started kind of owning my own full functions like international benefits, compliance, and my favorite program, which was the wellness program. And actually, one of my biggest accomplishments at Xactly has been the work that I've done within our wellness program. When I first started, we didn't have too much going on. We didn't have a set program that we were offering, but now I can say that we offer a ton. We have a platform that all of our employees can utilize globally. And we also provide a really holistic view of wellness. So we provide mental health webinars. We had a yoga session last Friday. We do financial health webinars. So it's really awesome to see how much we've grown in that area. And then lastly on this slide, you can see that last year I was promoted as a HR manager. And I'm still fairly new in the manager realm, but it's really awesome being at Xactly because we have a ton of programs and resources for new managers. And I can really tap into all of them at any time and continue to grow my skills as being a new manager. So since you're all, interested in learning and development, that's definitely an area that I have been able to tap into to kind of help grow my career that you can see on this slide. So on the next slide, thanks. So here I just wanted to show some of my favorite parts of Xactly and some more photos. So I can truly say that my favorite part of working at Xactly and what's really kept me engaged and happy working here over the last 5 years are the people. The people on my team, our executive staff, really anyone that I work with is just so nice and welcoming, and teamwork is such a huge part of Xactly. One of the reasons why I actually was trying to get out of hospitality was because the departments were super siloed and not really wanting to work with each other. So once I joined Xactly and saw how every department really helps each other, that really has engaged me and led me to stay this long. And some of the best advice I've ever received is say yes to the things that scare you. Jumping into HR, jumping into the tech sector was definitely nothing that I was used to, and it was new and it was scary, but it's led me to where I am now. And I'm just still so happy to be here and honestly learning new things every day. So I am excited to hear questions from you all later on in the presentation, and I will send it off to our next presenter.
Thanks, Lauren. Hi, everyone. My name is Jake. I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for taking some time this afternoon or evening, wherever you are, to join our call. I know we're all super excited to get to connect with you and share a bit about our experiences and partner with Way Up in this event. If we go ahead and kick it to the next slide, similar to Lauren, I put together a little timeline of my experiences here at Xactly. So I joined Xactly in June of 2020. So I'm actually coming up on my first complete year within the organization in about 2 weeks, which I'm very excited about. This for me was a really great introduction into a career in sales. So prior to joining Xactly, I had exposure to sales within recruiting, luxury retail, boutique travel, and hospitality. But since joining, I've been able to learn so much about navigating a career in the sales industry and just really increase, my knowledge as a salesperson and have the guidance and mentorship in order to create a foundation. So my first role, as you can see, I came in as a commercial sales development representative. Internally, we shortened that to an SDR. I was working in the commercial segment, which meant that I was working in the sales team for accounts that had 500 to 5,000 employees. And in this role, I was focused on identifying accounts and contacts that are interested or likely to buy our products and services. And I was partnered with 2 account executives on the sales team to conduct outreach via phone, email, social media, LinkedIn, and different channels of communication. So really the main focus was to build awareness for potential customers and current customers around our products and solutions in the revenue intelligence space. Fortunate for me, I was able to find success quite quickly. And after about 8 or 9 months, I was promoted into a team lead, which is like a team captain. So I was assisting in onboarding new hires, sharing best practices across the department, conducting one-on-ones and team meetings, as well as leading other training sessions. This team lead position was where I really learned how much I loved the training and development aspect of leading in a sales organization. I've always enjoyed working on teams, but to do so in a sales organization was absolutely amazing. And then just this past March, I was promoted into a full-time managerial role where I now lead the outbound SDR team in the West, which encompasses both commercial and enterprise segments. So, what does this role look like on a day-to-day now? I'm meeting with my team members, our sales operations team, our sales enablement team, our global sales productivity team. As you can see, you know, we're one big family. We work cross-departmentally, and within this sales organization, there are so many resources to leverage just to ensure success all around. So our whole goal here is to drive pipeline growth for the sales organization and really build awareness to set first sales interactions with prospects and customers. And we do this through different sales tools and technologies to really identify and reach out to prospects who would be interested in Xactly's product offerings. So that's kind of a bit about, you know, my background here and my day-to-day. But if we go ahead and kick it to the next slide, we can talk a little bit about, you know, what I love here at Xactly. As I mentioned, I joined in June of 2020. So my experience at Xactly has been completely virtual, which, you know, some of you might be able to identify with. I threw in a screenshot from a team meeting here, but it's really awesome how engaged we've been able to be in a virtual environment. And to Lauren's point, our HR team has done such an amazing job of creating engagement, creating opportunities, and, you know, different experiences for us to really have the time to have a work-life balance in a remote environment. So, you know, my favorite part of working here really is the people. The culture is absolutely amazing. You know, despite being remote, I've had access to so many tools, so many resources, and anyone within the organization. And this really helped me find success early and expedite me getting promoted. So, you know, my greatest opportunities and moments have really come through connecting with my team in these virtual events. I would say my proudest moment so far, you know, hopefully I have a new one each year, but as of recently, I was able to interview, hire, onboard, and train someone, and he actually surpassed his sales quota in his first quarter. So just being able to be part of that was a really big milestone for me in this managerial experience. And just for you guys who are tuning in today, as many of you are early on in your careers or looking to make a change, my biggest recommendation is to take advantage of all the resources and opportunities in your networks and really advocate on your behalf. I found that with me, you know, everyone is one email away, excuse me. And that really helped me, you know, get in front of the right people and help me level up internally within Xactly. And that was met really well across the team, just as we have so many people working in different departments. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. Nicole, over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to share some time with you guys today. I'm Nicole Ross, and I'm an associate software engineer. Next slide. There we go. All right. So my journey as a software engineer started before I joined Xactly. I'm a former educator. I taught high school math for 8 years before becoming an engineer. So I guess a little over a year ago, this time last year, I was a student, and I decided to pursue a boot camp program at Morehouse College. And in August of last year, I was a boot camp graduate. We were full stack Python bootcamp graduates. It was a very intense 12 weeks, 6 days a week, 8-hour days. And in November, I came across Xactly at a career fair at the AUC. And AUC are the university and colleges in Atlanta. We had a virtual career fair, and they weren't looking for a full-time position, actually. They were looking for interning positions, but I'm really big about networking and just throwing my hat in the race. And when I met her, the recruiter, she was amazing. She had a really good energy. I shared my story with her. I expressed what I was looking for. And I told her that I was interviewing with multiple places, and she said that she wanted Xactly to have their hat in the race, essentially. So within a month, after interviewing for months with very big Fortune 500 companies, Google, State Farm, Gecko, Starbucks, all these companies who were offering me positions, Xactly offered me a job. And even though this wasn't the highest salary that I was offered, this was the absolute best opportunity I could have received. I absolutely love the culture of Xactly. I love the people here and all the benefits they give. It just trumps any other offer that I could have possibly gotten. So I met them at a career fair, similar to this virtual setting that we have right now. And then I joined. I accepted the offer with Xactly in November of last year. As a new developer, I was eager to hit the ground running. Xactly provided me with so many resources to really build my career as as an associate software engineer. And I'm constantly being trained and paired and partnered. And I'm also trusted to complete my own task independently. So I feel very comfortable and fed here at Xactly. After a month of joining the company, I was asked to be a part of 5PX, which you can see in my little virtual background. And 5PX is an affinity group here with the company, and we basically embody and celebrate and honor educating our employees, the community, and everyone else on Black history and the Black culture of America. In February, we were able to put on like a Black history program through Xactly, which was really, really exciting, really beneficial. And we would have events go out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And these events were focused on education, fun facts, activities you could do with your family. And it was just, that's my highlight of being with Xactly this year. And like Jake said, I'm hoping I can get some different highlights every year, but so far, that's my favorite one. So on this slide, you can see in the bottom corner, there's a screenshot of the board, the 5PX board, us planning, and we're all like genuinely happy and kind and excited about being in Xactly. You also see some background on my slide as well. I have a bachelor's in mathematics and a master's in education, and I just decided to change my career, and it couldn't have been a better decision for me. If you want to connect with me, there's a QR code on the screen, so you can just scan that and hit me up on LinkedIn for any questions. I'll be happy to answer them offline. On the next slide, I thought it was important to give you a snapshot of what it looks like to be a developer at Xactly. So for me personally, my days look a little different, but week to week, I kind of do the same thing. So typically on Mondays, I like to start off with planning. I'm located in Atlanta, Georgia. So my entire career with Xactly has been remote, and I'm not forced to live in any particular area. We're not even forced to work certain hours, as long as I'm present, accountable, completing my task, which is really, really nice. So on Mondays, I just plan. I plan out my week. I like to take advantage of the Pro site like membership that we have. So it allows me to really up my skills and make sure that I'm prepared for whatever might come up. If I'm curious about another function, if I'm curious about a conference, my managers and my team, they're super supportive about me, encouraging me to learn more about my craft. I spend Tuesday through Thursday just coding. So if you look at the screen, that little blue and white screen to the side, that's me playing on my apps, and I really thoroughly enjoy it. Even if I get stuck, I'm really happy to just spend a whole lot of time just coding, making sure I'm taking healthy breaks within my day. And then on Friday, it's kind of a touch basis for our team. We have lots of meetings. We're on Zoom. If at any point during the week, if I feel like I'm stuck or frustrated, I could just ping someone on Slack and they're like, well, you want to jump on Zoom? I actually did it twice today. So it's just a really comfortable environment. I feel like even as a new developer, I feel like my work is appreciated. And I feel like I'm really contributing to my team, and that just makes me proud to be an Xactly in. I really feel like Xactly loves me. Like it's not just a phrase we put on our backgrounds or on our websites. So if you're curious about starting a company here or anywhere, I would really encourage you that when you start, you ask a bunch of questions, create small tasks for yourself so you don't feel overwhelmed, because working from home and or even working in the office, it can be really overwhelming at times. So just celebrate small wins, create small tasks. And I just want to say again that my favorite part about being at Xactly are the people I get to work with and the culture of our company. Thanks so much for your time.
It doesn't look like we have any volunteers for live questions yet. So how about we head over to the Q&A, Ariel?
Definitely. We received a question from Danielle referencing boot camps and what suggestions Nicole might have for those wanting to step into a software engineering role. What type of boot camp should they be looking for?
That's a great question. I was trying to type it with one hand to respond, but it's good for everyone to hear the answer. I attended Momentum Bootcamp. My particular one was Momentum at Morehouse College. Momentum is based out of Durham, North Carolina. You can complete it completely virtual. In their program, they have a 16-week program where you can focus on front-end development or back-end development. It's absolutely amazing. There are several boot camps, but I obviously advocate for the one that I came through. They build a culture of developers there. If you ping me or link in me, I'll be happy to connect you with whomever. When you're looking for a boot camp, you want to look for someone that's going to expose you to different parts of software development so that you don't have to be tied into one thing in case you don't love it. And you want to make sure that you're learning multiple languages. So I learned Python. I also learned JavaScript. I learned Django, things like that. And it was just be ready for it to be difficult. It's okay, because if it was easy, everyone would do it. So just ping me if you have any questions or support, or if you need some support in that area.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. We also received a question from Sebastian requesting to know if all their positions are remotely based, or are some of them required to go into the office at least some of the time. I can give this answer over to Colton, since he's on our talent acquisition team.
Yeah, happy to answer that. So with all of our roles right now, for the most part, they are on a remote basis, and that's just due to still the state of the world, us working through a lot of return to work type of policies and return to office. We do have some various types of positions, such as certain like office manager roles or things along those lines, that do obviously require to be more in office focused and centralized to that region. But really the biggest thing for us right now, like I said, is emphasizing, our work from anywhere that we have been doing and utilizing, and just giving us a lot of access to individuals and talented people like yourself who may not be in one of our centers of excellence, such as in San Jose or here in Denver. So most of our positions currently are on a remote basis, but obviously for those that are in the area or would whoever want to become to one of those areas, the option and availability to have in-office type of work is there as well too.
Awesome. Thanks, Colton. We've received a couple questions about sales. So with regards to sales reps, Jake, are they required to do any travel? And another question that came in immediately following that is, for sales, what type of experience is required for somebody, going into entry-level SDR role?
Yeah, definitely. So right now, all of our sales reps are not traveling. I believe historically, prior to COVID, there was, a small group of reps that were known as field reps that did some sort of travel. Typically, that's a bit more for tenured enterprise reps who are really focused on large deal cycles and larger deals. But for the majority of the sales organization, we're based out of an office or based out of a time zone. And, that's what we're focused on for sales. And it's all done virtually from here moving forward. And I don't see travel as a requisite. And then in terms of, what experience we're looking for, right now we have openings for business development representatives as well as sales development representatives. For a business development representative, they're working more inbound. They're working on some CRM hygiene and some internal data flow, cleaning all of that up from a sales perspective. That business development role is no required experience. So, if you are fresh out of college or don't have any sales background, that's an option for you to really get your foot in the door. And within that, there's a training and enablement built for you to grow into a true sales role. There's also openings from an SDR standpoint, which is that sales development representative. And for that, we're looking for around 6 months to 2 years of relevant work experience. So, we take into account different backgrounds, and within sales, sometimes that could be within retail or maybe the service industry, things of that nature. But it's typically 6 months to 2 years experience is what we look for in a candidate.
Awesome. Thank you. We got a question from Esther about some of our favorite benefits at Xactly. I feel like this is a perfect question for Lauren to answer, since she manages those globally.
Thanks, Ariel. When I think about favorite benefits, in the US, we offer really competitive benefits as it relates to medical, dental, vision. But for me personally, I love our flexible time off policy, which really allows us to manage that work-life balance. And basically the way that works is we don't accrue any PTO or paid time off, but we're able to work with our manager and take time off as we need it throughout the year. So I would say that is my favorite benefit. And of course, the wellness offerings I would have to throw in as well, but I'm biased on that.
So it looks like we actually have a volunteer for a live question if we can go over that.
Yeah,
so it looks
definitely.
like Corey has a question for everyone. So Corey, I'm going to go ahead and turn on your video. Hang tight for a couple seconds.
Alrighty. So my My question is for Nicole, and it's so a bit of background. I specialize in Android development, and I study computer science. You'll probably tell. And I was wondering if there were, for the time being, any roles that could cater to my set of skills.
What type of language do you work in when you do the Android apps?
Mostly Java, and I'm currently working on Kotlin.
Okay. I primarily work as a front-end engineer, so I'm primarily working in React. But back-end engineers, they do work with some Java. We don't use much Python in my current team. But I would just look at the website and see if any of those inspire you. Apply for anything that you qualify for, and even things that you're ambitious about. Xactly is really big on training. So if you find something that you're interested in, I would highly recommend you apply for it. And if you want some more specific questions about the interview process or about what type of apps we're building, I'll be happy to talk to you one-on-one.
I believe I used your QR code for a LinkedIn.
Nice.
Okay. I'm going to get to all the LinkedIn requests after this meeting. It's just hard to split screens where I am right this second. But I will definitely follow up with you if you send me a message. Thank you so much.
All righty. Thank you so much, Corey. And for everyone else, if anybody else wants to hop on video, just click that raise hand icon. But Ariel, if you want to go back to the Q&A, I'll throw it back to you.
Sure. We received a couple of questions regarding the internship program, and I'd love to give you an overview about the internship program. I do manage the summer internship program recruitment as well as the program throughout the summer. And we actually utilized Way Up to source and to recruit for many of our roles, and a handful of roles were actually filled by Way Up candidates. The question was, do we have any more roles available for this summer? And while we do not have any roles available for this summer, I would love to start that conversation with anybody that's interested in an internship regarding sales, marketing, technology, legal, accounting, or finance, anything that you're interested in. Let's link up after this call and start the conversation now, because we're going to be actively recruiting for next summer's internship starting as early as August this year. So again, send me a LinkedIn connection invite and I will continue that convo with you. We've got a couple of other questions that are related to technical support. Wondering what kind of technical support roles we have available and recruit for here at Xactly. I'll hand this one over to Colton.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Ariel. So for our technical support roles, I think that really gets divided up between two different sections, and that's on the general customer support side of things, and then diving in a little bit more onto the technical side. So general customer support are those that are working with our customers to answer, informative or even sometimes technical related issues along our products as they get up to speed and ramped up, and general utilization throughout their entire time using it. For more higher end technical type of questions or back end type of changes, those will be actually then passed along to our technical support team, which is working in tandem with a lot of other departments internally. I think that's one of the best things for us, is how much we collaborate and work with various different departments. And for those roles specifically, those are usually dealing a lot within SQL and having experience related to that for our technical supports. We don't have any of those open currently at the moment, but similar to a lot of our engineering positions and really any department across the board, we're obviously willing and continuing to work with folks such as yourself, because those are positions that we will always have ongoing and things that will come up. And so that's just a little bit of a deep dive kind of into those two different areas, and just like everyone else as well too, happy to connect and have conversations with you over LinkedIn, and maybe if we have something open as well too, get you in touch with the recruiter on my team who is working with those directly.
Perfect. We've got a question to elaborate a little bit more on Xactly's SaaS solution. Jake, how about you take this one?
Yeah, I think this was in regards to experience. Is that correct?
This is a question that came in before the event, but I've seen a couple more that are referencing what type of solution do we provide to our customers?
Yeah, definitely. So Colton touched on it a bit earlier, but we've really expanded into the revenue intelligence and operations space, honestly, over the last quarter for us, which has been a really exciting expansion. Part of Xactly's mission is to reinvest part of our profits year over year back into our technology, as well as through acquisitions. So where we focus on is really within all things to do with revenue. This was born and bred in our incentive compensation management, but we've now really pushed into territory management, advanced sales planning, quota planning, actually doing the compensation and calculations, as well as forecasting out all of our deals. So I know it's a lot to digest, but really when you think about it, any organization that has a sales team and is selling a product or service, we can help really define out that process and do it at scale at an enterprise grade. So we're really looking to honestly be a consultant partner for these organizations and really help streamline and automate their sales planning processes.
Awesome. And then we did see a couple of questions come in. One from Sergio, wanting to know a little bit more about what the commission structure looks like and the difference between what that is on an SDR basis versus, on an enterprise scale.
Yeah, so within our sales organization, it's a mix of base salary and commission. So it is a variable pay with an on-track earnings model. It does differ based on the segment that you're in and kind of your experience background. But coming in as an SDR position, there's a base salary with uncapped commission. So the more you succeed and the more pipeline you're generating for Xactly, we're going to reward you. It's uncapped. There's accelerators. There's a lot of money to be made. I know that's a theme in sales. If you're motivated by money, that's typically an alignment for a career path that lines up. But it is uncapped and it's a mix of variable and base.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake.
Yeah.
And then Colton, if you wouldn't mind giving us an overview of the types of software engineering roles that we have available. I know Nicole's mostly on the front end, but we've got a plethora of different roles that we recruit for actively and people working on our product.
Yeah, definitely. So as far as those software engineering roles right now it's more focused on the UI side of things. We do also have some QA positions right now, which are some of the biggest pieces that we're working on here in the States. And then currently we do have a few more senior positions as well too. But like I mentioned before, we are working towards having a lot more of those entry-level type of positions come up, similar to how Nicole, her experience was. So those are types of positions that we'll be continuing to have and love to have outreach and you folks, reach out to us around those. But currently right now, they're a little bit more on the QA side of things that are currently actively open. And then moving towards some of those more software engineering focused roles as well too here in the remaining of the year.
Awesome. Thanks, Colton.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a question coming in from Leanne Bernhardt. And the question is referencing management or data analyst opportunities for somebody that's graduating, and she's happened to be graduating this month. And I definitely want to let you know we've got a lot of opportunities for those that are interested in analytics, whether that be from a marketing perspective as a marketing analyst, a data perspective as a data analyst, or even product analytics working with the products team. As it relates to the internship, we definitely recruit for that actively. And I believe we are actively recruiting, and if not at this current moment, regularly for positions in data science, product management, people that get to really work on the unique products that we build out after, connecting with our customers and figuring out what problems do we need them to solve and how do we, work with our data and work cross-functionally with engineering and customer success. Certainly, I would say check out our careers page today. And if something's not on there right now, continue to check back regularly because we update every so often. We've got another question talking about what the interview process was like for, a software engineering role. I feel like Nicole can speak to this one.
Thank you. So I am getting lots of messages on LinkedIn. I promise you I'll respond to all of them. Some of the questions are lengthy, so it takes me a second, but I was actually typing the answer to this question. So I'm glad that you brought it up. When you're interviewing, because a lot of you people are, I've heard, are new graduates, or maybe you haven't had a role yet before. So as an engineer, most people have an initial interview with a recruiter and then a manager, and then there's a coding interview. So I've interviewed with lots of different companies, and they can range from different amounts of coding interviews. But with Xactly, we are focused on hiring great people. We're really focused on hiring quality people, great people. And just because you can code doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be amazing for our company. So it's really important that you are interviewing us and we're interviewing you. So when I interviewed with Xactly, I did all those things that you're expected to do. I told them about myself. They asked me about my personality. I did coding interviews, and all that stuff was great. But what won it over for me was how we talked in our coding interviews. There are other companies that I won't name that will give you a coding interview and they won't say anything. You'll just be on the screen on this blank sheet of paper, and you have to code as if just just blankly, and it's very intimidating, I'll say that. And there's a couple of different ones with Xactly. When we coded for my interview, we coded in VS Code. So most people that actually code, you know how to code on whatever platform you choose, whatever language you choose, and they just want to know that you know how to code. They're going to expect you to be nervous. They're going to expect you to maybe not remember every little thing. You don't have to be flawless. You just have to have the personality, the energy, and the willingness to learn, to be a really good team player, and to do your best, to be honest. My last interview with Xactly, the one that won me over, was it's crazy. It was a Friday, and I had 6 interviews that day because everyone was available for that day. And I was stressed out and I was overwhelmed. But when I got with Xactly, they were so excited to talk to me, and it just made me feel good right away. And I went through maybe 2 hours. This is the final interview, not the first one, but the final interview might have been 2 hours long. I think I had 3 coding challenges, but none of them were hypotheticals. Like I'm gonna try to be quick, but I've had a challenge before where they said there are tall trees and short trees. Which ones get water, and how much water are they gonna get in the month of March? And you have 45 minutes to do this. Like, I mean, it's just really hard. Xactly didn't do that. They give you realistic expectations. If I have a client and they want the app to look like this, what would I do? Or if I have a loop and I wanted to do this, what will they do? They're very practical. So people who are asking those questions, they're very realistic. They're if you don't know everything, that's okay, but you got to have the grit to want to learn, and you just have to be honest in your interview, and I think you'll do fine.
Awesome. That's awesome advice, Nicole. We've got a question coming in about what kind of positions people should apply for despite not having a plethora of experience. And I think Lauren touched on, getting into Xactly early on in her career. So I think she can speak a little bit about this and her personal experience.
Yeah, we have a ton of opportunities out there that require little to no experience. So as Ariel mentioned as well, keep checking that careers page. You're going to be able to find a lot of different opportunities. And don't look for something that explicitly says more than 5 years of experience. But I believe we have opportunities within a ton of different departments that are looking for early career individuals. So I think just being able to look at the job description and just go ahead and apply, and hopefully we can reach out to you.
Awesome. Seen a couple of questions come in from those that have degrees or obtaining degrees in cybersecurity, wanting to know what Xactly's in-house security team looks like, or what a position looks like here at Xactly. And I want to let you know we definitely have a robust in-house security team working on our programs, our software, and our compliance. They are certainly present behind the scenes 24/7, and they are also there to make that first introduction to our new hires on day 1 during new hire orientation, walking them through how to get set up, troubleshoot. You might also, as an Xactly NC, emails come in periodically that are definitely from security to ensure that we are on tip-top shape and not falling victim to any phishing scams. So they're really a handful of opportunities. IT support is another one that is very much so involved in making sure all of our global Xactlyans are set up and ready to go before day one, and then especially, any day after, orientation concludes. Another question is related to entry-level accounting positions, wanting to know types of experience that is required. Believe this person is a graduate in 2019, currently has experience more so in customer service. So I think this is about how do you transition into something when you've got relevant degree work, but not so much professional experience quite yet. I know that Colton previously recruited for finance and accounting, so maybe he can answer this.
Yeah, so for our entry-level accounting and finance roles, I have worked with many folks who have not had that type of professional experience before. Some have only had maybe internships around that, or really were only able to speak on the experience that they gained within school, the types of projects that they have done. And for applying for those types of roles, and I actually know currently right now we do have an entry-level financial analyst role open. It's really just being able to speak on the experiences that you have and applying that type of knowledge towards those real type situations. Like we mentioned, our entry-level roles, we look for anyone from 0 to 2 years of experience. So that's it's not a blocking point for you at all if you haven't had that professional level experience going into it. It's, do you have the knowledge that you gain from schooling, from your education, that you can then speak on and apply moving into that type of role? And so I would not let that dissuade you at all as far as to applying to that current position right now. And like I said, it's really just a matter of speaking that experience that you have and being able to take that forward into the professional role.
Perfect. Thank you. I think we've got a question from Danielle, and I think Colton might be able to answer this one based off of, team member of recruiting. But the question is, looking at current positions, I see that some are simply located as national. Can you go a little bit more in depth as to what this means? Is it remote? Is it field-based? What does it look like from a candidate standpoint?
Yeah, so for those that are not defined, we do have, like I mentioned, some positions that do require more in-office type of work, such as office managers or things along those lines. If it is not defined as one of those set locations as Denver or San Jose, and when it says, the field US or those types of wordings, those will be remote-based opportunities that you do not have to worry about your location currently. So I hope that clears it up a little bit more, unless it has that defined set location and defines that it needs to be in office. For the most part, they will all be remote opportunities for you.
Perfect. And we do have a handful of other questions, and I will make sure that we take note of all of them to get them answered. But I want to ensure that we have enough time to have a closing message from a very special guest. Her name is Leanne Bernhardt, and she leads our human resources. She's our vice president. So I'd love to pass it over to her for a few special words.
Thanks, Ariel. To be honest, I think all of you are the special guests. I appreciate the Xactlyans that joined us today and all of you who joined this virtual meeting. Nicole Ross said it best. Come in, have the energy to learn, and that really takes you a long way. We've done a lot of work over the course of the last many weeks with Way Up. We really enjoy this partnership. It has gone very well. And the caliber of candidates that we've received and have talked to have been fabulous. So I encourage you to check out our careers page and see if there might be something of interest to you. There isn't a person on this panel today who didn't talk about the people at Xactly and the energy that they bring to work every day. And I can tell you, as someone who's been here through a lot of change at our company for what will be 6 years in the next number of months, this is a phenomenal culture. I'm later in my career. I've worked for many years, and I can tell you in my experience, this is by far the best culture that you will find. We are very committed to the culture and the people of our community within the company. We do a lot in the community, both monetary donations and giving back through volunteer activities when it's safe and where it's safe to do so. And so that is a big part of our culture as well. Many of you talked about our highest or your highest interest being learning and development. What you heard today are 3 wonderful stories, and these are 3 of many stories that you would hear if you were to come into the walls of Xactly and learn from the folks that we have here about their career journey. We have a wonderful set of learning and development curriculum. We have career paths identified for every organization. We have 360-degree feedback mechanisms in place for you as a growing leader or aspiring leader to learn more about your skills and your competencies to help you as part of your coaching or your development journey. You know, all of our folks today talked about their career journey. Don't let the fact that, you know, not having direct experience, either through looking at a job posting or finding a job that you like, set you back. Lauren came into the HR organization. She's been with us for many years. You heard her mention earlier that she came in with no experience, and she's now a people manager, and she's doing a phenomenal job, and a job that is global, high paced, and very broad. She came in with a great attitude to learn, and what we refer to as a learn it all versus a know it all attitude. So take advantage of your networks. That was also mentioned here today. Advocate always for yourself. We're always building a candidate pipeline, so don't be discouraged if you don't see something directly on our careers page. Go ahead and apply or reach out to myself or anyone who you've been listening to on the panel today.
Awesome. Thank you, Leanne. And I think the next slide actually has another one of those fancy QR codes. So if you want to pull out your phone and take a screen capture, you'll be immediately linked over to our Way Up profile page that has our active listings. We want to say thank you very much on behalf of all Xactly for joining us this afternoon or evening, wherever you're located, for our virtual event. It was fabulous being able to share our experiences with you. And we look forward to hopefully reviewing your applications and continuing the conversations very soon. Have a good rest of the night.